Listen, sometimes we are our worst enemy. What are we doing? Subscribe. Let's talk about it.
When I quit my job without having another one lined up, I gave myself 6 months. 6 months to make an income on my own. And now the problem is that what I need in order to cover my mortgage, daycare, car, food, everything for me and my daughter is $6,000 a month, which is a lot to try to figure out to come up with on your own in about 6 months. But now that I haven't had a job for a month and there's no paycheck coming in, some mornings I wake up and I am very motivated and I am writing down my ideas and I feel very creative and everything. But other mornings I wake up and I feel nothing but doubt and fear, because the responsibility is completely on me now. There's nothing coming in every 2 weeks like it was before. But I know something for certain is that if I would have stayed at that job miserable and full of anxiety, I would have completely regretted staying there for 20, 30 years and knowing that I never lived the life that I was supposed to live. So what I need to do now is figure out how to make $6,000 a month on my own eventually. So if you have any advice, anything that you know that you've done and has worked for you or that it has not worked for you, please let me know in the comments.
What has worked for people is staying at a job that they admittedly hate until they find something that actually works for them. This is what the issue is. When you make the worst case scenario the likely scenario, you make the worst case scenario the most likely scenario. So now it's easy to justify your decision of doing something like leaving a job and giving yourself 6 months to replace that income that you had. You know what your expense is. If you're watching South Park, it says you know what your nut is. You know 6,000 is what you need. So before you even, it's 3,000 every 2 weeks. Before you even have secured that, this is the only type of market practice we support. Before you even secure that, you said, let me just quit because it makes me miserable. If you weren't being attacked, belittled, hurt in some sort of way, then you have no business just leaving a job without having something else secured. Moreover, when you have a kid, it's no longer about your happiness. It's about your duty to that child, to providing for that child. Sure, we can bring in conversations about where the father is. That's fair to say. But when you're doing it on your own, like so many mothers are, like so many parents are, you have to sacrifice parts of your happiness in order to make sure that kid does not go without. Listen, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Listen, subscribe is it's the best thing you do to actually help the channel. Outside of that, share the video, hype the video. We got merch in the store. So today we have this generation that has this belief that your happiness is paramount. The first thing that you should be worrying about is your happiness. And that should be a tangential sort of ghost-like hovering idea that you should keep there. I think, especially for men, we do a poor job in walking towards our happiness. But I think what men understand most of the time is duty, responsibility, that you have to sacrifice parts of you in order to get something. Sometimes it's not just for your family. Sometimes not just for your kid. It's just for whatever goal you have in the future. It's going to take you sacrificing, not doing what you want to do right now, being kind of, unhappy at the job you have right now, because in the future, it should lead you where you need to go. To reiterate the point, what she did here is what people commonly do when they're having these conversations, when they want you to understand and justify a very poor decision that they made. They want to look and they catastrophize. They look at the worst case scenario and they put that forward like this is the likelihood. This is the most likely thing to happen. She said, I left because I know if I stayed there for 20, 30 years, I'd regret it. At what point were you suddenly magically going to step on something and be there for 20, 30 years? You stay there until in an increasingly challenging economy, you stay there until you have something else secured. So this, you don't have to go without. Too many people leave jobs for an off chance at making it at something else. I'm going to leave this job here so I can be a full-time content creator. I'm going to get online there without testing waters, without understanding how complex and how difficult that job can be. I'm just going to make it happen because I believe and I want it enough, and that's supposed to happen. That's supposed to be enough. This isn't a Disney movie. Things don't just work out. There's no ultimate fairness. There's no ultimate arbiter of justice. It's not the stars. It's not your birth chart. It's not your sign. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. The world is cruel and unfair, and sometimes the best you can do is hang on to what is paying you and enabling you to survive, or moreover, enabling you to leave that same job. You should be stacking money, looking for something else, having interviews lined up, having a position secured. You start on Monday. Okay, let me get out of here today. Let me put in my 2 weeks, or let me leave them high and dry if I never want to come back here. If you regret that enough, hey, it's Wednesday. I just got the position. I start Monday. Call your boss. Hey, I'm gone. Don't bother me. Hey, you can keep everything. I'm not coming back to clean up my desk. I hate you all. Even that is rife with sort of a strife, because you don't know what could happen at a new place. If you don't vet these places, you don't know the security there. You don't know, you may have to come back hand in hand so you don't burn the bridges. What we do today, what the new generation does, and why they're having so much trouble in the workplace, is because they have their own set of principles that is not congruent with our generations of millennials and the generation and Gen X. The issue isn't so much that we get to tell them how to live their lives. The issue is that we have lives that sort of overlap. And when we overlap, you are now kind of have to adhere to the rules that the generation before you has set. The workplace is dominated by millennials and some Gen X's, right? And the baby boomers are hanging on, for over there in the corner in the retirement homes with their sitting on loads of cash. But in the meantime, the way we subscribe to life is not the way you do. So when we clash, when we meet, and you think I'm supposed to adhere to you because you're up next, you're not. The ideals, the traditions, the work ethic that the generation before you has still holds sway. You come there, you get onboarded, you get training, you get OJT, you end up adopting those mentalities because this is what kept the company successful. Or you don't, and you get weeded out, you leave, you go somewhere else. But people that stay adopted what came before them, and so forth and so forth. So when you come to a new place and you say they shouldn't have an issue with all my piercings, they shouldn't have an issue with my face tattoos. In general, millennials are more accepting of this, but we still understand there's a different time and a place. If you want to set the terms of your own sort of employment, then you should create your own jobs, create your own company. That way you can say, it doesn't really matter what you look like, I just care more about your work ethic. You create your company culture. But we still adhere to the principles that make sense to us. When you decide I'm just going to quit a job on your own, that's probably because there's no one in your corner telling you, baby girl, that is a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. At 17 years old, I wanted to quit my job at McDonald's. My mom said, not before you secure another job. Not before you secure another job. I didn't secure another job for 2 years. That's just the facts. She would not let me leave. It wasn't like that money was necessary to the outcome of the family. I got that job because I wanted to go to prom, and I asked my mom, I have $300 to go to prom. She said, you can get a job. I got a job. And from then on, from that sad moment, I've been working. And this is just part and parcel of my story. Is not unique. By no means. The new generation just feels like, hey, I can see that the world is different, that the world is difficult. It's difficult to hold a job despite my degree, despite my degrees. Yet, I'll just up and quit because I'm unhappy. And then we have this expectation that somehow it's all supposed to work out. Only made worse that you actually have a kid that's supposed to look to you to take care of them. Listen, if you disagree, if you got another way of thinking, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to sound of my voice now, you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.